Hello chums, and welcome to 30 Minutes Thursday Tea Time at 3:30. Today you'll hear from Marks and Spencer about the 4 pillars of their digital strategy, along with 2 spiffing members of our portfolio, both delivering increased sales for retailers. Salesfloor, who connect customers to sales staff via multiple channels, and Green Story, who show the environmental impact of products purchased to motivate customers who want to buy green. A quick shout out to our sponsors, Investec, Lewis Silkin and Hayes McIntyre, who are standing by to give you free advice on wealth management, legal and financial. Please try them, they're fab. But first, a reminder of who we are. We exist because brands and retailers are bombarded by vendors trying to sell them something despite having no ability to articulate what they're offering. We're different. We're a group of mature, digitally savvy C-level folk who've been around the block. We're supported by a network of over 75 contracted associates across Europe and the USA who are in the later stages of their successful careers. We've built a portfolio of brilliant SaaS solutions from scale-ups around the globe which deliver compelling results. Our sole ambition is to listen to your challenges, understand them and use our experience and network to find the right solutions partners in our ecosystem to help you deliver results. Solutions partners who are big enough to bend over backwards to help you resolve your challenges without being too big with the risk of holding you to ransom, or too small to be able to cope with the demands of a large corporate. And it's not just finding solutions to your briefs. We specialize in finding Rumsfelds. Solutions which solve problems which you did not even realize you had. And all the time, we ensure we speak in your language and cut to the chase. Maximum benefit, minimum waffle. One person who is no stranger to the world of digital is Stuart Ramage. After 21 years at Dixon's Carphone, including 5 years as e-commerce director, Stuart recently moved across to Marks and Spencer, where he has the key role of head of digital strategy and innovation. Stuart, welcome. As we've agreed to keep Caterpillar out of our chat, could we hear about how you're starting to tackle digital transformation at M&S?
Yeah, sure. Hi, Alex, and hi, everyone listening. Yeah, Alex, you'll know this, but last year we announced our strategy to become a truly digital-first retailer over the next 3 years or so. And that really comprises of kind of 4 key pillars, really. The first of which is to grow our online business and develop seamless omni-channel customer experiences. And by that, we mean our kind of core clothingandhome.com operation, growing that through market-leading omni-channel experiences. Grow our food business, of course, through our relationship with Ocado and on M&S.com. We still retain some of that around hampers and wine and gifting. Reinvent our digital store experience, so bring to life digital solutions in our store environment. That's one of the threads of conversation that you and I often have. Transform the M&S Bank digital experience as well, and then tie those digital assets together in an experience which is meaningful and seamless for customers that hold those many relationships with us. And the last element of that first pillar actually is our international online business and growing that significantly with aims to more than double that. I'm going to share with you now some progress on some of the activities in that first pillar. Clearly, I can't talk numbers. We're in a closed period for M&S, but our annual results come out next week. So forgive me for not sharing any numbers at this stage. But suffice to say, it's been a reasonable year from a .com perspective. More on that next week, of course. But our development and engagement with our app, for example, which is becoming the fulcrum of that seamless experience that gels together a lot of those digital assets, has been fantastic. And we've actually doubled the level of app engagement and have just shy of around 3 million monthly active users now on our app experience. And that really is becoming the gel and the ultimate mobile experience for our users. In terms of the number of or the volume of digital users that we have across our digital assets now, that's grown significantly as well. And somewhere between 22 to 25 million active digital visitors across our estate on .com, app and Sparks across a monthly basis. Really gives us a large amount of data and volume of interactions to be able to start to personalize experience. And I'll come to that in a moment. So good from a .com perspective in terms of progress this year. Of course, from an international point of view, significant expansion, which is driving the growth in that space as well, with 46 new markets opened this year. So we're now present with an M&S digital footprint in over 100 territories across the globe now, really bringing M&S to the rest of the world. And in terms of digitizing our store experience, we launched a program called 10x Digital Stores. A bit more on that later, but in reality, what that's trying to do is to bring the very best digital solutions to drive forward the customer experience in the retail estate, both for customers and for colleagues. And we'll talk a bit more about that in a moment. The second element of our strategy really is around better using customer data to enhance personalization, drive a deeper level of loyalty, and of course generate revenue. The first element of that in this last year was the relaunch of our Sparks loyalty program. So moving away from a points-based system and a very kind of legacy way of engaging with customers, digitizing the experience really. We've relaunched that now and seen a significant uptick in the number of members that we're able to onboard onto the Sparks loyalty program. In fact, we reached a big milestone recently with now over 10 million members on our Sparks loyalty program. We've also worked hard to make that a really strong value exchange. That's really important for customers to move it from a program where they accumulate points into something that there is a true value exchange, and onto something over the course of the next few years into a program that's something that customers love, something they tell their friends about and are proud to be part of. At the moment, we kind of focus on kind of charity donations and spot giveaways, but the level of personalization that we're bringing into the Sparks platform now and leveraging that customer data to deliver truly personalized experiences is starting to become a bit of a game changer. We're also able to use that data to offer different propositions. So in Sparks this year, we launched Book and Shop, and we've had actually almost 1 million customers booking placements in our retail stores to come and shop safely through the COVID pandemic. We launched also Mobile Pay Go, which has morphed into Scan and Shop. So using the mobile phone, if you're a Sparks member, to be able to scan and purchase products on your mobile phone and walk out the store without going through a kind of core self-checkout or a belted checkout experience. And again, almost 1.7 million transactions. So we're starting to see really great propositions being able to come to life through Sparks as the entry point, and leveraging a much better quality experience actually for those Sparks customers. In addition to that, we're using data to really personalize the experience across our digital assets. And so this year, foundational, to be honest with you, but we've netted now over 100 million personalized experiences we've delivered this year, delivering some strong revenue growth, incremental of course, and we've got grand plans to automate all of the experiences that we offer in our digital assets. And that deeper understanding of the customer is facilitated by a single customer view. That single customer view we've built now on our customer data platform. That customer data platform now holds something like just shy of 50 million unique profiles, and they're tracked with 1,600 different attributes at a customer level. And on a rolling 90-day basis, we're capturing just short of 3 billion different data points that are facilitating a lot of that personalization and automation. Of course, we're at the tip of the iceberg on that. We recognise there are literally billions of experiences and moments in time through engagements in our digital assets that can be automated and personalised, but we're on the road to make that very much a reality. That's a really exciting part of the programme, and pulls together our digital assets, the level of loyalty that we have through the Sparks programme, and our ability to personalise those experiences all in one kind of unique experience. And we've got, I think, a really strong position in the marketplace to be able to do that. Customers, of course, trust us. We have bought, I think, the right over the years that we've been around in order to have that level of deep, meaningful relationship with customers, and they expect it. They're happy to and willing to share information with us in order to personalise the experience. And we're starting to get very good traction and very positive, meaningful feedback in that space. I've talked a bit about data, but the underlying use of data is critical for us. So digitising our kind of workplaces and deploying data and AI models to enable faster and better decisions. Overall, modernising our systems and technology is the third element of that strategy. So faster and better decisions based on data science and automation is critical. But modernising our technology systems as well, and providing platforms to facilitate pace and enable agility for colleagues is just as important, as well as providing best-in-class workplace technology. Again, in that space, we've made some significant headways, and I've been really impressed with that since I've joined the business, actually. We've started to move a lot of our legacy data off of legacy systems and into a brand new singular unified cloud-based platform we've called Beam. It's based on Azure, but the transition of that data is no mean feat, I could assure you, and will take some serious time. We're now in a position to have transferred about 30% of our legacy data into Beam, that singular unified platform, and we're conforming 7 or 8% of it for use now. Doesn't seem quite a lot, but we're prioritising clearly the data that's getting used on a daily basis to improve decision making. The goal over the next kind of 18 months to 2 years is to move all of that data onto Beam, structure it, govern it, quality check it to make sure that it's appropriate for use, and make it accessible and digestible for our core data citizens across the organisation to be able to access and make use of in their everyday decision making. We've got several hundred users accessing that data now on a regular basis, and we've built what we call a Beam Academy. So we've built an in-house academy in order to train up our colleagues on better data skills. That kind of leverages the original partnership we had with Decoded that we announced a few years ago, and we've morphed that now into like an in-house learning centre that's now delivered, actually in the last year, over 120,000 colleague engagements, and so we're starting to see the level of scale that in-housing this activity can do, but also driving it through and making it connect to real life and real use cases that drive the business forward. We're also investing in data science, and we've successfully built around 11 data science use cases this year, but are starting to unlock good 7-figure values in terms of benefit. And we're building the platforms now to be able to scale those models significantly. And the plan this year is to roll out the capacity to hold many hundreds more data science models in order to leverage the level of data that we have, but productionize it into, as I said, real use cases that drive performance. The last element of kind of the 4 pillars, if you like, is around cultivating that digital culture and a sense of freedom to innovate, I think, is probably the best way to put it, and changing the way of working that we have in the organisation. So establishing kind of key digital measures across the organisation, the right level of governance, not an onerous governance, but the right level of governance in order that's cross-functional, so that there is accountability that's shared across the organisation. The digital transformation isn't just happening in our digital teams; it has to happen across the organisation. Unfortunately, that's starting at the very top of the business, and I'll share a bit about that in a moment. We're also adopting agility across our teams. Of course, we've got software development teams and product development teams that are using agile methodology, but we're starting to use agile ways of working and more modern ways of working across the organisation. It's not uncommon now to see mission-based teams set up across different areas of the business, solving for particular missions, but bringing cross-functional capabilities with a specific set of missions in mind. And those teams will stand up for 6 or 9 months, crack on, own the mission, and then they'll fold down once that mission is complete and fold it back into the business. And we're seeing that more and more readily. We're also using OKRs as a measurement framework more and more frequently, and rolling that out across the organisation at relative pace as well. And what that does is it opens up a level of transparency on shared objectives that is surprisingly uncommon around different businesses. And so by opening up that framework and making it very, very transparent, having to gain cross-functional alignment against a very high level of ambition, a stretching level of ambition in the objectives, and then laddering up a series of key results that are really meaningful, but for sure set you on the path to achieve that moonshot objective, is becoming really powerful and something that's getting a lot of traction internally. Initially in the digital teams, of course, but it is working its way out now across the organisation. We've set up a digital board as well, which I think has been really helpful for governance, and it includes a number of different key senior stakeholders from across the organisation. Two last things, if you don't mind, Alex. One on the 10x Digital Stores. This is the program that we set up that is connecting digital solutions to the retail experience, both customers and colleagues. We've done over 50 trials now in the first 7 months of that. So we're really trying to drive a much more innovative and agile test and learn approach in our retail environments as well to unlock value. And we're starting to see some green shoots of that coming through as well. And the second thing is the partnerships program, which we're working with you on. And that's a small team that's connecting our business unit stakeholders across our organization with startups and scale-ups from around the globe, exposing them to the entrepreneurial nature of startups, but also connecting solutions in fast time with kind of agile approaches, proofs of concepts, and taking those through to extended ongoing partnerships. And again, we're starting to unlock multi-million-pound opportunities with that as well. So those 4 pillars really are the kind of the crux of what we're doing, and we're focused on in the first phases of our digital transformation.
Bloody hell. Well, look, all I can say is that was awesome. I really don't want this to stop, but I think now's a really good time to bring in Diane from Salesfloor, who's going to talk about driving deeper engagement across multiple channels, reflecting what you were saying a moment ago. Over to you, Diane.
Great. So Salesfloor is modernizing the role of the store associate, and we're really doing that by differentiating our customer experience, driving traffic to stores, and creating a more personalized customer connection. And if we go into the next slide, I wanted to share a list of some of the customers that we're working with. You'll see our customers across all verticals, and they're global around the world. Next slide. So Salesfloor really redefined the meaning of clienteling when we provided our store associates with these 4 components that really help them be able to service their customers across all channels. And in order for us to effectively allow them to do that, the first thing that we focused on was the personal customer outreach. So a sales associate has serviced a customer in the store, the customer leaves. How do I upsell and cross-sell to them to continue keeping them engaging and help building that relationship and continuing on that shopping journey? The second component that we looked at is connecting the digital customer. And so, having that digital customer connect online and continue receiving that same personalized shopping experience that they receive in store, but now online. And so we're now helping drive and convert that sale over. The third component was hosting appointments and events. As we all know, there's become a huge interest in that. So we wanted to tie all that in so that our customers have the ability to connect with their store associate in any which means that works for them. And the last component that we focused on is offering product recommendations. So providing that store associate with the right tools to make better product recommendations for their customers so they can service them better. The big advantage that we have is that we have one unified platform that allows our store associates to connect with their customers via any channel, but it's a seamless process. And if I look at the next slide, every customer before they launch, they want to understand what are the benefits and ROI that they can expect to see before launching our system, which, so I kind of put a little snapshot together. So some key things that we're able to do is a 50% increase in online average sale. The reason for that is because we better understand our customer. The recommendations we make are in line with what the customer wants. Therefore, we're increasing the average order value. The second component is a 20% increase in first-time buyers. So when they hit the e-com site, because we are connecting them with that local store associate, all of our customers are seeing a minimum of 20% increase in the first-time buyers. The third big component is the 40% lower return rate. And again, it's because we're servicing our customers, we're helping them buy the products that meet their needs. Therefore, the return rate is significantly less. We see a 12% conversion rate of online customers. So our funnel is converting 12% more than our e-com, our customers are receiving on their e-com. And now we're not only just doing the digital conversion, but we're also driving 3 times more in-store sales when the customer comes into the store. And then some 2 other points is we see a 100% increase in email open rate. And that's really because the communication is coming from store associates who've serviced them in the past, and virtual and appointments. Obviously, there's a significant increase there as well, just because of the state of our business and it's new. That in a nutshell is who Salesfloor is.
Hey, Dan, I love this. I'm a big fan of clienteling. We've actually got a proof of concept going live next week, and it's something that I'm really passionate about. So, yeah, congrats on the product. Can you let us in a bit of an insight into kind of which sectors specifically tend to benefit from clienteling in general, or where you've had most success in Salesfloor?
Well, I think initially it started off in the fashion industry. That was a lot more of a personalized touch. I think what happened when the pandemic hit, a lot more retailers and verticals started looking at clienteling to figure out how to penetrate. So we're actually seeing a big increase in furniture, in pets. Beauty is significant, but I think all in all, fashion is significant. People want that personalization, and that's where we're seeing some big demand.
High end only or high street too?
No, it's actually across the board. It used to be high end. Now it's more about, how do I take that customer from hitting Amazon and being able to shop with me? They have questions. And so how do I, bring them back in so that they're buying my product? So it's more about the service and not so much about the price point. It's, it's all about the customer experience now.
Okay. And there are a few players in this space, right? So what differentiates you and Salesfloor from the competition?
Well, the biggest differentiator for us is that we are one unified platform. So when a store associate is using our platform, regardless if they're doing an outreach, they're tasking, they're connecting to that online customer, video, chat, text, whatever appointment, every single thing is on one application. So it's really seamless for the customer and it's seamless for the store associate using. Our competitors typically have only portion segments of what we do. So therefore it's still segmented, it's broken down. And then for customers who kind of have all of them, they're in multiple different applications. So, a store associate would have to have 3 or 4 applications in order to service that customer. And that in itself makes it not as sticky of a product for the internal team to adopt the product.
Got it. One more question, Alex Mayo? Yeah, I'm going to go for it anyway. He's too slow. How do you keep the store associates engaged using the platform? That's a really critical one for us.
Well, I think the biggest thing is our virtual clienteling piece, which obviously I can't go into. I didn't go into it because we're on a time limit. But we have virtual selling components that absolutely engages the store associate to do and see more, especially if they're commission based. If we ever get an opportunity, if someone wants to reach out, we can show how our customers are doing that and how sticky the product is. It's it's really giving them a digital homepage to connect to that their own customers.
Great, thanks.
Thanks very much. Now's a good time to bring in Akil. Akil is from Green Story, and Green Story is all about how embracing green drives revenues for retailers. Akil, over to you.
And thanks, Alex. So hi, everyone. The idea behind Green Story is really to help any company visualize the footprint of their products, showcase what it is like to buy a sustainable product to their customer along their customer journey, and even do an additional step like carbon offsetting so you can be carbon neutral. This is something that's increasingly important in pretty much all the retail spaces, especially fashion. If you look around right now, especially with younger consumers, they really expect brands to be transparent. They expect brands to be talking about their impact and to be clear about the environmental footprint that they're having. And more consumers are actually talking about the importance of owning your carbon footprint and offsetting your footprint. And this is really where Green Story comes in for both of these parts. So what we essentially do is we measure the footprint of each product and we visualize it along the customer journey on the home pages, product pages, wherever it is. And it kind of helps customers realize the impact of the choices they're making when they buy a sustainable product or a product that's carbon offset. And it helps kind of boost the engagement that you have and boost conversion and loyalty without kind of taking them away from the essential customer journey that they're having with you. Again, the idea is really around every touch point, and we really mean it. So it's a system of APIs and widgets, and you can actually integrate this across your entire website. Some of our clients have actually done that on social media, on their newslettering systems. But every time the customer sees the product or interacts with your brand, you're also subtly inserting the story behind the environmental footprint of your brand. So in the homepage, they'll see these counters come up, which tell them what's the total impact as a brand that they've had. And then when they go to the shopping cart, they can see this is the footprint of their purchase. And then there's also post-purchase engagement through integration with newsletters and certificates that go out, and also tailored product pages and order pages where customers can see the individual footprint of their order, explore the projects behind it, and really look into that. And this is where the carbon neutrality system really comes in. So we work with a lot of sustainable brands, but we also work with a lot of brands who are taking their first steps in their sustainability journey. And the way we do this is the same, where we measure their footprint and we offset when we get projects for them and offset their footprint in real time. So if a customer is purchasing an item and it's say, 50 kgs of CO2 in footprint, we will in real time offset that. And this kind of it goes beyond just telling your customer you're carbon neutral, because the system, it's so integrated in the customer journey. People can explore as they feel like and actually look into each and every project. And it works right now. Today's environment is really about sustainability and telling that story, and our customers have seen a remarkable increase in sales engagement, and we work with over 100 brands globally.
Yeah, great. I love this one as well, because it's close to M&S's heart with our kind of Plan A sustainability credentials. Can you talk a little bit about how you ensure that the data that you're presenting is legitimate, Akhil? How does a client understand the kind of the background of that data extraction?
Absolutely. So basically, it starts out with what's called a life cycle assessment. And we have a expert team of PhDs and masters who are specialists in this space, who go in, talk to your suppliers and explore your supply chain. So we have online questionnaires, direct calls with them to clarify things. And there's a whole modeling system behind it, which is automated, but also works with these experienced analysts in the space. And we kind of determine on a supply chain level what's the footprint of each of your items. That allows for easy mapping through our API. So you can say, okay, these are the supply chains you work with. These are the products. Let's map them all together. So you can do one of two things. We can either show the full footprint. This is the CO2. This is a water footprint. Or I can even do a comparison. I've sourced organic cotton. How does it compare against buying conventional cotton? And you can kind of show this is how much water you save, how much energy you save.
And is it just that, you talk about sales upsides here, and get what sort of levels of engagement you're talking about? What's the scale of the impact this is having with some of your clients?
It varies quite a bit. With some of our clients, we've seen a lift in as much as 107% increase in conversion and almost tripling of the loyalty in terms of repeat clients coming in. So it's been pretty huge for some of our clients, especially those who've lent into the story. Because at the end of the day, we are also providing a funnel for your sustainability-minded audience. So if you can build your marketing around that, then you have a really strong way to reel them in. Okay.
Last question, if I may, Alex. What's the typical cost of offsetting on a per item basis for apparel, for example, would be what?
It's really not as much because we have direct connections with the offsetting providers, so we can kind of bypass the market. So we actually get the price at about 1/5 what a company would usually pay. So it's about 5 to 10 cents depending on the footprint of the product.
Okay, all right, good stuff. Thank you.
Well, as ever, we're coming to the end now, and I cannot thank Stuart enough for everything he shared with us. I think he managed to get through more than any of our other speakers. This is just a reminder of some of the other fabulous past keynote speakers we've had, because actually this is the first anniversary of us starting Tea Time, and we've built up a large and growing audience. And obviously, if you've missed one of our previous sessions and would like to access a recording, please let us know. Today, we heard from Stuart about the 4 pillars of the M&S digital strategy. We then heard from Salesfloor about how their solution helps retailers drive sales by delivering a more holistic experience to customers by increasing conversion and average order value. Green Story took us through their journey about sustainability, how that information drives sales and can also be used by retailers to accelerate the change to more environmentally sustainable business practices. Our next session is on Thursday, June the 17th. Someone Stuart knows is presenting. We've got the fairly outspoken Julian Burnett, former CTO at Sainsbury's, John Lewis, and ex-head of retail at IBM, who's going to be talking about AI, innovation, blockchain, etc. As ever, 2 solutions partners. If you want to speak to us about anything, want to hear more about our offerings, just email us at bingo@greyhairworks.com. Thanks as ever to our sponsors, Investec, Lewis Silkin and Hayes McIntyre. I've said it once, but I'm going to say it again. Thanks very much to Stuart for being absolutely awesome. Thank you, our attendees. It's been great having you. Look forward to catching up with you next Thursday The next one, Thursday, June the 17th at 3:30. Thanks, everyone. Bye.